looks like it's gone through a lot. Because it has. Because it's got to deal with my hair. But anyway. I hope you enjoy it. Sit back. Relax. And enjoy. I don't really brush my hair a lot, which I feel like I should start doing because it has gotten pretty long. And I'm very grateful. But I feel like it's got a little bit too much volume. But I've already been thinking about donating it. I don't know how long it has to be for that, but I'll probably grow it out. Until I can donate it. I was gonna donate it the first time I bust off my head, but I was researching it and there are like so many hurdles to go through that I was like, I'll just do it myself. But I did end up throwing all the hair away, so I don't want to do that again. So if you need some hair, then let me know. I've been growing it out for, I think, 2 years now. Maybe 1.5. You can check. Because I made a video whenever I shaved all my hair off. I made a video about detachment and how I think that a lot of people are too attached to certain things like how you look or achievements that you have or accomplishments. And don't get me wrong, it's important. It's important to have some kind of attachment to those things, but I feel like it's easy to make those your entire focus and then lose yourself in them. And the image of yourself just becomes your look or the things that you accomplished or your achievements. And so it's important to every now and then realize that all of those things are kind of fleeting and not really forever. that is also one reason why Buddhist monks shave their head. But I'm not too sure on that fact. I could just see it make sense. Now, I do like Buddhism, but I don't think I would shave my head. Well, I mean, it depends. I was really thinking about studying at a temple for a year or two. Now, I don't know how I'll do it, but I'm definitely very interested. Because I am quite fascinated about meditation and Buddhism in general. So if the requirement in order to study there was to shave my head, then I'll probably shave it. But other than that, I used to shave it because the hair would get annoying because it got so long. That would be my primary reason why I would shave my head. But I kind of just got used to it now. I do also like that you can see the evolution of my hair through my videos. I think that's really interesting to see the different stages of hair growth. But I've always had a lot of hair, and when I was younger, my parents would force me to go to the barber. Even though I hated the barber, I would always cry, and my mom would usually take me, and I would never be satisfied with how I looked afterwards. Like, no matter if I had like the worst hairstyle ever, it would still be better than whatever I ended up with. And the worst part is, like, after they're done, they're like, so, you like it? And I'd always say, no, I hate it. But, like, what are you gonna do? The hair is gone, the hair is cut. But yeah, when I was under 10 and my parents would take me, I would just cry the entire time. And then at least I would get like a toy or something after we went, so that wasn't too bad. But after that, I think my parents took me to the barber till I was like 15 maybe, so quite a long time. And I never really messed with it. I would have rather just have grown my hair out. But a lot of people actually made fun of me because I would sometimes be able to grow my hair out. Because my dad or my mom would be like, we're going to the barber. And would just be like, no, and lock myself up in my room or hide so that I wouldn't have to go. And then when I went to school, actually, my math teacher, she would be like, oh, you have so much hair, like, I can't even see your face, and stupid comments like that. Which would affect me, sadly, because I was still young and I didn't really have a big sense of identity. And, I also am someone who respects older people a lot. Especially when I was like 12 and onwards, like middle school and high school. I would always respect the older people a lot. Like also just people who were a couple of years older than me. And I feel like that used to be the case for when I was growing up, at least. It used to be, respect your elders, and if somebody's older than you, then you have to treat them with respect. That was just like a rule. And nowadays, like, as I got older and I saw the younger generation grow up, and then I started working at summer camp, it was kind of mind-boggling to see how much disrespect they had towards older people. And I do think that is very sad. Like back in the day, I wouldn't even be brave enough to like look an older person in the eye. And nowadays it's like they're screaming and yelling and just not being respectful. Or calling you names. Crazy stuff. That I could not have imagined. Because quite frankly, I think a lot of it also stemmed from fear. And I feel like the younger generation just doesn't really have that in them anymore. They're just not afraid to I don't know. Definitely times do change, so I can't really pinpoint what exactly it is. It's probably a combination of multiple things. And speaking of being respectful, I think that one part they like, how do I word this? I feel like teachers almost have it the most difficult. Like, I didn't even tutor for that long. I had maybe a couple of students. But as I said, like, if the younger generation is more disrespectful, then I don't want to imagine how it is in the classroom. I feel like being a teacher 30 or 50 years ago, you just had a lot more power. And it feels like when I was at school, like we would always treat the teacher with utmost respect. And not really. I mean, we did have like a couple of disrespectful moments, but I feel like it's gotten a lot worse. Obviously, I can't really tell because I don't know what the classroom looks like nowadays. Maybe it's not that way, and I do hope so. Because if you're a teacher and you don't really get treated with respect, then it's pretty difficult to teach valuable things. But I also realized that a lot when I was at summer camp. I feel like when I was a kid, well, I guess the whole dynamic stems from if you are with other people around you that kind of like you push each other to extremes. So like by myself, I wouldn't do things that I would if I was with certain people. Which I definitely was that way. Like by myself, I used to be like a saint as a child. You know, I would be calm and not yell or scream or run around. Given I was pretty heavy, so I couldn't really do that. But I did get in a couple of fights as a kid, especially in kindergarten. But then, and elementary school, but then, thankfully, I kind of chilled out. But usually I was pretty good. At least that's what everyone else said. But then if I was with my friends, like, we would do all kind of stupid stuff. Like, we would go and steal stuff or trespass. But we'd just be outside all day and just really see where the wind took us. And I guess in that regard, you could say that I wasn't really respectful in that matter, but still, like face to face and in conversation, I would be very respectful. And as I said, I feel like it's really the environment and other people that you're around that dictate your behavior. And if I was at summer camp as a kid and I had specific other kids around me, then I would probably also done some bad stuff. But there's also a difference between like bad stuff that's just bad and bad stuff that's also kind of fun and fun for whoever's involved in it too. You definitely gotta just said, basically. Like just being a complete menace. And something that's like, say you're doing a prank on someone and I mean, you could just have them have a really terrible time, or have them also kind of laugh at it. And I feel like that's the type of stuff that is always more worth it. Because that way, the other person doesn't just lose and feels bad about themselves. But obviously, it's very easy said. It's pretty difficult to find a balance, and it also very much mostly depends on who is involved. But yeah, what's funny is, so my parents would always take me to the barber shop, and I would hate it. And then I turned like 19, 20, and I started growing my hair out because I moved out. So they didn't take me to the barber shop anymore. And then they saw my long hair and they were like, wow, your long hair looks really good on you. And I was like, thank you. But, oh, there's a fire going. They were like, your long hair looks really good on you. And I was like, thanks. And thanks for forcing me to go and have it cut every time. But now they like it. So, I would suggest, if you've never grown your hair out, just try it. See if you like it. Use shampoo and conditioner. I used to only use shampoo, but I think you should definitely use conditioner too. And brush it. I gotta get better at doing that. And enjoy the process. Take progression pictures, maybe. I also just like growing it out because then you can kind of tell whenever you look at pictures how much the time has passed and what kind of mindset you were in when you had a particular length of hair. It's always interesting when I see pictures of myself in the past and I had a completely different hairstyle. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied with the length. I didn't want to grow it up to my shoulders, and almost. They are pretty much touching my chest. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you have anything to say about the topics that I talked about, also feel free to leave a comment. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, or a pleasant evening. If you like this video, then check out these videos here. Other than that, I'll see you very soon, okay?